All right, so we'll it's 1:30 now. We'll get started. First things first, I'm gonna introduce myself. So obviously I am Blair Peterson. I work with the Experior development team, the back end, a little bit of marketing, a little bit all over the place, but the main things are the websites and the CRM in particular. And so today we are gonna be going over, this is the first webinar over a series of 4, and it may seem like a lot, but there is actually a lot to our system. And the goal today, in general for the whole series, is to make it so that it's not like 3 hours of your time where you're sitting and watching the whole thing. That I'm going to try and keep it to 45 minutes to an hour, bite-sized, and really get into it. So if you can stay for the whole thing, great. If you can't, we are recording, so no problem. It will be posted once it's finished here, and we'll get it on the back office. And we also have Amber in marketing. She's going to be helping us out today. Her name is Marketing Experior, and she's going to be our moderator. So if we can keep everybody with their mics off and muted, we have a lot to get through. If you guys have questions in particular, you can message the lovely Amber at marketing directly, and she'll field those questions. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our best. If it's a quick question, Amber's going to send it to me and we'll answer it as best we can. If it's a little more complicated, still send the question to her, and then we will get back to you. In the beginning of next week, maybe we'll go over the questions. So maybe Amber, you want to just pop on and say hi.
Hi everyone.
Amber here, Marketing Experior for questions. Okay, so I'm gonna get started right away here. Give me 1 second, just gonna swap. And I'm gonna share my screen, and we're just gonna jump right into it. I have a little bit of a PowerPoint just to kind of go over the basics. Some of you might be using our CRM, some of you might be using another CRM. Some people might have no idea what a CRM is. So we're just gonna do a little introductory PowerPoint here. It's really quick, and go over kind of the plan for the next couple weeks. So this is our weekly roadmap. So this week today, we're gonna go over what is it, like what is the CRM, how to sign up, a high level overview of it, the dashboard, and then the client section. So that's the first little bit that we're gonna go over. Next week, we're going to continue on with the lead portion of the CRM, the lead cards. So that's the customizable pipeline that we have, your calendar. So for the people who are interested in scheduling, we're going to touch a little bit on it today, but the calendar is really where we're going to focus on that. The mailbox, and then week 3, we're going to go over some of the teammate features, the analytics, some news, the contact list, which is kind of like your address book. I think we're going to bring the file manager to week 3. So it's in 4, but if we have time in week 3, we'll probably touch on that. And then week 4, we're really going to focus on campaigns, because that is a huge component of a CRM. And we're going to go over how to actually create one in week 4. Because a lot of times when you get a CRM, and even when you're having your business, creating, even using software like MailChimp or Constant Contact, it can be really overwhelming. We have one in our system that's similar, but we're going to teach you how to do it so you can create your own campaigns and automation with that. And then we're going to go over the help section, and then that's going to be also a great time for any questions that we have missed or anything like that. So what is a CRM? Let's get right into it. So it is a customer relationship manager. Basically what that means is the idea of a CRM is that it's meant to improve your relationship with your customers. So it's meant to, by improving your relationship, keeping things organized, you do better. You know, you're able to create more sales, you're able to improve your overall business. It's a central location where you can store your client and lead data. You're able to track your interactions, share the information with your colleagues, which is nice. You can track your calls, your notes, your schedule, following up, and organize any next steps that you need to do. And that's really that lead pipeline that we'll get into. And basically it ensures that you have a full picture of your client's needs. And this helps foster cross-selling and upselling opportunities that you might miss if you don't have this information. So some key features of our CRM is contact management, lead management, email tracking, and with our professional G Suite account that you get through us, the Google Drive, which is integrated in our CRM, and you can use it with the Google Apps. The campaign creation, which is the great marketing tool, and we'll talk about that. And then obviously there's a lot more, but these are some of the main key features. So this is why you should consider a CRM. So some of you, like I said, might be on it, some might not have any idea. One of the big things is organization. I know a lot of us, even at head office, we tend to live in our email. And while that is easy at first, it can get messy really fast. So, or maybe we live on post-it notes, all this stuff, and it's just, it can get chaotic. So the idea of a CRM is it's a central location where you keep everything and you can stay on top of things. The data analytics are great, especially some of the main features we have are the income goals. So you can set those goals, you can see how well you're doing and really improve your business that way. The marketing, so the integrated campaign system that we have is crucial. So for example, when you have clients that have birthdays, anniversaries, you can automate these things so that they feel that they're getting interaction with you and your business is just running smoothly in that sense. And really the possibilities. The main thing with the CRM is it's trying to improve your overall business. And when you utilize it, you have more information to sell more in a nutshell, really to sell more, to do better, to have a better relationship. And it's all in all a positive thing. So that's the general gist of it. We're going to go right into the first component. As you can see, we're on a version of our back office. This is more of a staging site, but I want to go over how to sign up. Now, I know this might be really boring and some people might have already signed up. But this is a process because we haven't mandated it, it can kind of get confusing. So I really want to clarify, especially if you have new trainees coming on and you want them to utilize this as well as you, to guide them through this process, it'll be super helpful. So the first component is you have to be licensed. If you're going to get an Experior email address, we only issue those to licensed people and access to the CRM. So that's the main component. But once you are licensed, you will notice on your back office that there is a My CRM button here, and you're going to click on that when you gain access. So you're going to come to a landing page here. And I can't stress this enough. People tend to not read this. And this is where a lot of our confusion comes from. So I want to go over it and really clarify things. So one of the first thing is you're going to receive an Experior email address. So that's very clear. With our CRM, you get an experiorfinancial.ca or experiorfinancial.com or experiorfinancialgroup.com email on the USA side. And this is the account that is going to be integrated into your CRM. It's your professional email address, and it's how our CRM operates and has all those awesome integration features with Google that you can utilize on your phone for your business. What's going to happen is when you're going through this process, the system does ask you if you want your default email address on the back office to be your corporate email, okay? So if you choose that option, what's going to happen is your back office email here. So as you can see, when you go into your profile, currently, this is a CRM test email. If you say, yes, I want my corporate email to be the new email, it's going to change this to the new email. So all of our emails are first initial, last name. So for the CRM test account, when they accept this, it's going to be ctest@experiorfinancial.ca. And then moving forward, you're going to be logging into the back office with that username. Your password will remain unchanged. So I know it's a little confusing because you don't change the password, but it changes your username. It's just because the system operates on your username being your email. So if your email changes, so does your login. So just to clarify with that. What also is going to happen is you are going to get a temporary password for G Suite. And this is also where it sometimes gets confusing. So I'm going to pull up a sample email here, okay? And this is for the USA side, but it's the same email. So what happens is to your personal email account, your original one that is on the Experior back office, you're going to get an email that says, hi, so-and-so. You'll now need to sign in with your new G Suite email address, which is what we just talked about. for the email account, it was going to be ctest@experiorfinancial.ca, this is US. And then it tells you that your temporary password is whatever it is, and this is for your email. So this email that you get here is solely for your Gmail password. So this Gmail, so the temporary email is for, sorry, temporary password is for your email. So that's when you decide to go to gmail.com or open up the Gmail app and you want to add the account. You would add this corporate account with a temporary password and it will ask for a password change. Going back to the back office password won't change. So this email really is to let you know what your Gmail login is. And hopefully we're going to improve on the wording and clarify it a bit more. But I'm hoping that this explanation will help explain anybody confused. When you sign up for the CRM, if you for some reason can't get into the back office, you most likely just need to try your new email address and that will get you in. Okay. Hopefully that clarifies that. Another component is one of the things, and I'll talk about when we go to sign in, but I want to make sure that you guys don't have the pop-up blockers on too when you're logging into the CRM, but we'll touch on that in a minute. You will normally get a 2-week free trial. When it comes to I know some of you guys have been CRM winners, which is exciting. So yay for you guys. That's why we're doing this. But you already have the 2-week free trial. So you'll get that on top.
Let me put you back on.
You'll get that on top of your 3 free months. So you got 3 free months plus 2-week trial, but anyone else signing up, you get 2 weeks to try it out. If you don't like it, cancel, no problem. And then you won't be charged anything moving forward. And then we do have our CRM support email, so you can email that one directly for any questions. So what you would do is you would read these thoroughly, you check it off. And of course, if you do have any issues logging in, I'm not saying you can't ask us, you can always message us. I'm just trying to clarify some of the common issues that we run into when people are signing up. So you would continue to the agreement and then you would read it through. There's an agree and sign, and then you would take it to the payment page. Okay, so that is the gist of this sign up component. Now, the other thing I want to go through here is I'm going to log into our official test user because this is just our testing side, our staging side. Just give me 1 second here. And we're just going to go over how to log into the CRM. So you've signed up, you've got access now, you're super excited, which is awesome. And then we're going to log in. So I'm going to go here. We're logging in. Remind me later. Okay, so now you're good to go. You've signed up, you're ready. We've got our test legal, user legal, our test account here, and the My CRM button is here. So what you do is when you log in, when you log into My CRM, it should automatically send you right in. You should have no problems whatsoever. Of course, it's a webinar, so I might have some problems knowing me, but we'll try it again here. Let's see here. But the idea is you shouldn't have any issues logging in right away. Now we're good. So it just took an extra second there. But yes, when you log into the back office, you should be able to go right into it. The other way to log in, I'm just going to log out so you can see, is you can access the CRM via the link. So if you're on your phone, you can copy this URL. It's https crm.advisor.efgroup.ca, which would bring you to this landing page. So you don't have to be logged into the back office to still access your CRM, especially if you're trying to get on your phone. So what you would do is you would just sign in with Google. So whether it's your first time where you have that temporary password and you need to reset it, or it's your, you already have it, you just make sure that you sign in with Google. And this is the point, the point where I want to make sure when you go this route, please make sure that you don't have any pop-ups. This is another common issue we have where people are like, hold on a second, you know, I can't, nothing's happening. It's just spinning, it's just spinning. Well, make sure that you don't see, usually it's in the top right-hand corner here, that there is a pop-up block and you'll see it, or it might pop up at the bottom. You want to allow it because it's just Google trying to say, do you want to log in here? So we would pick your account or you would add your account, it might, and then it'll send you back in. Now, I do want to add, there's a couple other screenshots that might happen when you go to log in. So the first one is here, and it's just a screenshot I've done. is you need to link your new corporate Google account to your Experior account. All right. So this sometimes pops up. And the reason why this pops up is anytime that we do a push with new features, technically our program has changed. Google is super secure and we love that about Google, but then it needs you to reauthorize it. So essentially you have a Google corporate account and then we have the CRM. You just need to go and say, you know what? Yeah, I totally want the CRM to have access to my account. That's what you need. So all it is you say, okay, and then another one. So you might get this one. The second pop-up that comes up here, once you say okay, is it says CRM wants access to your Google account. And then this will allow it to read, create, edit, and make sure you trust us. Of course you trust us. This is the program that we have. So you would just scroll down and then click allow. This will happen every time usually that there is a push. It's a bit of an annoyance, but it's an extra security feature that Google has, which we do appreciate. So just make sure that you're still linked. So if for some reason you're noticing that your account is just not linked and things aren't coming up, it's most likely because it just needs to be resynced. So what's an easy thing you can do is just log out, then log back in. And if you get that prompt, you're just resyncing it again. You're reauthorizing it because our CRM here has access to your email. It has access to your calendar. They're linked. And so you just need to authorize that. So if that comes up, have no fear. Just authorize it and you should be good to go as you continue on. All right, so now we're in the CRM. How exciting, we've made it. All righty, so I'm just gonna do a quick high-level overview of the CRM. So obviously when you land, this is your dashboard. So this is all the fun widgets you can have, and we'll get into that in a minute here. On the left-hand side though, this is your menu. So right now we have our dashboard, clients, the lead list, the lead cards or pipeline, your calendar, your mailbox. If you are on SM or ED, you will have access to teammates because you are a leader role. This test user is an executive director. There's a news section, there's some analytics, the quote and apps, which is your win quote tool that's in here. We have specific tools like campaigns and things like that, and then help, and then the lock section. So if you're somebody who just likes to see your icons and have more screen space, you can definitely do that too, or you can expand it. The top here, we have your the favorites. So what is here is you can, when we'll get into the clients, but you have the ability to have some favorite clients. So in particular, if you are working on a specific client that you always want available, you can favorite them here. And then over to the right here, we have tasks. And so these tasks are linked to your G Suite account. So any tasks that you do on the app or on your actual Google account, they will be on the CRM here. And then you have favorite items here too. There's just a couple ways that you can access favorite items, and then notifications. So we do have a notification system that will have notifications if you have things that need to be dealt with. And then you have your profile. So when we go into the profile, we have got your information is pulled from the back office. So whatever's in the back office, you're going to see here. We have had some weird issues with the birthday being a day off. So if you do notice that, please send it to me and we'll get that fixed. It's been off a day. It's been a little strange, but we'll get that fixed. But all your information is here and you'll see what role you are and things like that. What we also have is the geolocation. So this is where you are, what your address is. So your home address is on here, and I'll get into why we have that, but it's a really cool feature. So this is just information on your back office, who you are. It should be exactly the same. It shouldn't be anything different, but good to know. And then you can also see your subscriptions. So you can see for the CRM in particular, you can see what's going on as far as your payments and things like that. And you can also cancel your subscription here if you're not happy, and that's okay. But it's just a good way to know that it's here too. So let's go back to the dashboard. And I did see the question about the favoriting. We'll get to that when we get to the client section, okay? But we'll get there. So the dashboard is your landing page. So we're going to get into all the widgets, and this is great because it is super customizable. This is the one that I've created, in the bottom right-hand corner, you have got the edit dashboard function. So you'll see you can make widgets smaller. Mine are kind of big right now. So let me just remove one here. So you can remove a widget if you don't like it. You can expand them, you can customize and move them around. It's basically a way to set up how you visually want to see. When you land, what are the insights that you would like to see today? You can add different ones. So right now we have the activity, the events calendar, your map, and I'm going to go through all of these as we go along, and I'm just going to add this one here. So let's just go over them. We also have, just so you're aware, you can reset the layout. So if you are like, this is confusing, I just want blank layout, we have an option. You can click blank and you can go, or you can do the default. And we do have like a basic default to get you started, and then you can go from there. Some people are different. Some people want a fresh canvas. Others just help me out and get me started. So we've got a couple there for you. And then you have the option to roll back the changes, which is nice. So if for some reason you want to experiment and then you go, oh crap, I don't want that, you can roll back the changes and then you're good to go. All right, so let's just go off what I have here. So in the top left-hand corner here, we have clients and leads registrations. So this is really good. Initially, when you initially get the CRM, we're going to talk about importing your clients, but this tracks how many clients and leads that you're adding in a day or in a month. So it's going to tell you, obviously this is a test account, so the data is not necessarily the best. I do apologize for that, but you're going to see, okay, you know, this month, depending on your how you're doing, it's a good visual, because if you're constantly adding new leads, you're going to see, okay, I'm doing well, or you're going to see the months where like, oh, you know, I didn't really add anybody to this. And the thing about a CRM is the way that you make it beneficial is you putting in the work, you actually committing to something like a CRM. And it doesn't matter what kind of CRM it is. It could be ours, it could be another one. If you're going to go the route of a CRM, you kind of get out what you put in. So if you're not putting in the data, the insights aren't going to be there for you. So that's really why I understand it's hard for people to just kind of switch and adopt something like this. But the more you put in, the more insights you're going to get from it. And I will just add, if you guys have questions or comments, please send them to Amber in marketing so she can field them for me, okay? Because I see them, but Amber's going to be the one who can help organize that, just so we can stay on track, because we've got lots to go through, okay? So yeah, when it comes to the client leads, the more you put in, when you're actively using your CRM every day, it's a really great analytic to see how well am I doing. Am I adding? Am I getting new leads? Am I stagnant? What can I do? And so this breaks it down for you when it comes to clients, and we have client leads, and then we have teammate leads. So for those who are into recruiting teammates, we got those leads, and then we have clients in particular, and then obviously client leads. To the right, we have the lead count statistics. So we have it broken down between, you can have, it's the same widget, but I have one for client and one for teammates. So with the lead count statistics, these are the pie chart is defined by your pipeline funnel that you customize. And so I'm going to touch on it a little bit here, but next week when we get into leads, it'll make a little more sense. So the pipeline, depending on how you customize it, so your pipeline is, you know, whether you got cold leads, hot, depending on how you set it up. I have it set up as cold, hot, warm, not interested. This is where you're currently sitting at. So if you have a lot of cold, then you can think, okay, maybe I need to do something. Or if you have a lot of hot, then you can know when you log in, you say, oh, there's a lot of hot new leads for clients. I'm going to be on top of it and get those done today. It's just that visual when you are aware of, you know, your color schemes and what you choose, to kind of keep your mind on what should I focus on. If you've got more client leads, then we're focusing on clients today. Or if you've got more teammate leads, we're focusing on teammates. It's just a nice visual, and this will change when you customize your pipeline. Sorry. Then we've got the task list. So like I said, the task list is added to your they are integrated. So if I add a task here, and you can edit it, and you can add details. then you're good to go. And then you can add subtasks. Anything that you do will be added to your Gmail. So you can add a task, and then you can add multiple subtasks. That really is general. This is going to be for your overviewing of all your tasks. It's not going to be for specific clients. So just to be clear, your task list is really good for those quick things that you need to do in the day and set them up, and it'll follow you on your Gmail. So, and I think one of these weeks I'll talk about the different apps that you can get for G Suite to really integrate with both, so that you have that connectivity on your phone as well, and you can access everything. And you can access the CRM via your phone on a browser, but I highly recommend that you download the G Suite apps as well, because it makes it very helpful, just because sometimes the apps are easier. We definitely want to have an app, but we also want to get the CRM going too as well. So that's kind of long term. But the tasks really are your general overview of what's going on, and your kind of your day-to-day, not specifically for a client. So we'll get into that. We also have an income goal widget, which is really cool, because this is where the integration definitely starts with our system. The goal with the Experior CRM is to be an Experior CRM for our Experior agents. It's not meant to be just some random CRM that anybody can just use. It's really meant to be a true integration with our system. So the awesome thing with the income goal is it is integrated where it's tracking your deals. It's tracking everything from that's happening on the back office, and you can see what's going on, and you can set your goals. We also have an average of the Experior agents. So obviously you're not going to see other people's specific incomes, but you can see on average what are our average Experior EDs making? What are the company lower results? What are the company higher results? Where do I want to be in a month? And you can customize a goal. So what we have here, so these are average incomes that we have for Experior, which I think are pretty awesome. And you can have it for a year. So you can set your goal for the year if you really want to. You can set it for a rolling 60, rolling 90, rolling 120, the month, and you can adjust the value. The system will populate a suggested value for you, but you can decide what you want. There's a couple questions here, and again, if you guys can direct them to Amber, that would be great. Visibility to the dashboard is just you. The CRM is only for you. That's it. You do have access for EDs if you have teammates, but you don't have access to their CRM. And I'll get into the aspects of sharing. But I just want to be clear, this CRM is for you and only you. This is your information. This is like your vault, your file folder. This is going to replace everything and make everything organized. So for those who do have teams and are the SM/ED levels, you are going to have some team features where you can assist, but it's only so far, right? You're not going to have access to your teammates' clients, but this dashboard is solely for you. So the income goal is for to set your goal. And then the awesome thing for if you are an SM or an ED, we do in fact have a team widget goal. So we have a team income goal where you can see how your team is doing. You can, obviously we have the scoreboard, but this is nice because you as a team can work together. And this is those components for our EDs and our SMs and those who are those team leads, where you can set those goals for your team and have those powwows and let them know, this is our report this month, this is how we're doing. And that's a really cool thing to give you guys more of that team feel when you're trying to grow your businesses. So you've got the individual, and then for those that are the SMs and EDs, you'll also have a widget for team income, which is cool. We also have, so there's two different widgets for kind of viewing your activities. So there's activity and there's events calendar. The events calendar truly is your calendar. It is your day-to-day calendar that you can see what's going on. It's going to give you the full calendar of the day, the week, the month, however you set it here. So you can see I've got a couple books down here, but it's going to give you the whole thing. The activities section, though, really is your events that are happening today. So as you can see, there was like a test call, a visit here. it's not the full calendar. It really is honing in and focusing on, okay, what is going on today? You're not going to see the big gaps of the free time you have. It's focusing on what you want. So really, with the activity and the events calendar, the difference is it's trying to, it's just deciding how you want to see it really. Some people like to see their more full calendar, you know, when am I taking lunch, the full thing. Other people like to see, you know, just give me the basics of what I need to know. Who am I seeing today and where am I going? So that's just, it really is a preference. I have both on here, and you can decide what you can choose. I see the question about the EFAs. So that is a goal that we'll be working on. That's another thing. I don't have a timeline, but that is something where when I talk about integration, things like that are what's going to be with our CRM. So like I said, you can choose another CRM, you can go to HubSpot, and that's totally fine. But with our CRM, we're going to have more of that integration coming in. There is some exciting stuff that I can't really talk about right now that is coming down when it comes to integration. So maybe you can think in your mind what could possibly be happening. But there is, the integration is there. One of the goals is certainly, we wanted to get the EFA on the back office, get that new one going, and it's awesome. And I hope you guys are enjoying that EFA. And obviously one of the long-term goals is that you're able to have that information here as well so that it's seamless. So not necessarily just yet, but definitely part of our goals. And there is some exciting things that I can talk about in a little bit later. So yeah. The other widget I want to talk about is the map one. I really think this is a cool feature. I think it's an awesome visual. What the dashboard is it's for those people who are visual. This is an awesome feature. Like, just the whole dashboard is great for anybody who is that visual person who needs to see, because you can look in your email and you can have an idea, but really the CRM, an idea like this, is to really give you that whole visual picture of what's going on in your business. And the map is awesome. So as you can see here, if your clients, as long as they have an address on their account, you'll be able to map out where all your business is. So it's going to give you some insight. Okay, like maybe I operate more in Guelph, or maybe there's a certain area that you're wanting to branch out of. Or in particular, maybe you're wanting to book a couple appointments and you need to route. So one of the really cool things we have now is we do have a routing system. When you click on a client, you'll see the name of the client, who they are, and then you'll be able to open their card from here so you can look and quickly see their information. But then you can also build a routing, which is nice. So if you know you're going somewhere, especially if you're on your phone and you've got the widget on your phone, and you see the client, you can open up the phone, you can see where they live. Obviously on your phone, it's gonna say current location, but then you can start directions to where they live. So that's really cool. It's a cool feature. And you can see this is a client lead, these are clients, and it breaks down in color. So if you've got tons of clients across Canada, your map will be a bit bigger and you'll see where throughout Canada you've got clients, or if it's just in Ontario. I just think this is a really great feature. And we have the routing component where we can route. And that's also another component as to why we have your address here, is because there is some automated routing that happens, which is really cool if you've got a planned day. Let me just look at some other dashboards here to see if there's other widgets I'm missing. We have, like I said, we have a daily route. So if you have, there's no preview here, but if you have multiple clients that you are going to see in the day, you can build routing for that, and it will populate if you wanted to. So if they just want to do it on their phone, that's totally fine. But if you want to see the best route to go, that is an option. We've got quick links, so we do have some quick links to, you know, social media, things like that. What else is here? The task list, map. Recently viewed clients. I haven't thrown that up, but that's really good. If you liked, it's kind of similar to favorites. If you've got clients that you're visiting quite often and you want them to be up here, you can add that widget. It's just a nice to have. It's in there for you as well. And we're constantly adding more widgets, but this is just kind of the general overview of the dashboard and the visual awesome tools that you can use to get some insight into your business. All right, so now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the clients section here. So I'm just going to look to see questions here. So if you have clients in multiple sections here and in multiple provinces, what will happen is, so the map is responsive. So I only have clients in Ontario, so it catches them all in that section. So obviously, if you have a bunch here, you're going to see it will probably be a bit bigger, and you'll see where they are in multiple provinces. But the map is super easy to drop and drag, so you can easily zoom in to where you're trying to find, and then hover over who you need to. The other thing is, if you really love your map, you can make it bigger. Mine's small right now, but you can make it bigger, and you can, if you want to see more of your map here, and I'm kind of expanding, you can make it as big as you want. It's up to you. That's the beauty of the customization that we have. So you can decide how you want to see it. So, but it will kind of respond to where it's at. So as you can see, this map is trying to catch it all. The other thing is you can expand very easily. You can expand, and it'll open it up, and it'll give you the full screen on your computer, so you can see, and you can hover over the clients, and you can see everything, and you click, and you're good. So and then you would just hit escape to get out. Escape. All right. So clients, let's get into that here. I'm just going to go over again the overview of kind of the menu and show you everything here. So we have the ability to filter, just so you can see. It's there. It's at a default. Sometimes I like to just get rid of it personally, because then it just gives me more room to play with on my screen. I got a pretty big screen here, but I just like to get rid of it. But you can always access it here if you want to add filters to help sort through. This is particularly good if you're looking to sell a product for a particular group of people. If you're trying to find, you can filter like age, profession even, and that's a way that you can utilize the CRM to promote the selling. When you're trying to, it's one thing to get your sale and get your client, but then it's another to continue gaining more sales, right? And that cross-selling, and that continuing to sell. So you guys are all jumping the gun. I promise we're going to get into the client information, okay? All right, so the overview. We have an ID. If you're those kind of people who like IDs, cool. If you don't, then you can take it away. We have this customization, so you can remove the IDs. You can remove avatars. The avatars are, if you like having a face to a name, you can upload a person's profile picture, and you can add it so you can have faces to names. But if you don't really care about that, you can customize and remove it. You can filter or sort by first name, last name, phone number, their email, if they're an Experior lead, which is just really if you work with Experior and we've given you a lead, it'll show you lead. But if you don't really do that, then you can hide that too. The created at is kind of nice, because you can know when, but again, if that's not what you're interested in, what I like to keep is my updated ads. There's an updated section which can tell you when's the last time you were in that client profile and you changed something. That is so helpful, because you can take a look and say, oh man, I haven't touched this one since, what does it look like? July of 2019. You can go in there and take a look and say, how can I reach out to this client? Because it's been a while, I could update some information. That is the goal of the CRM, is to show you where you can do better with your customer relationship. So you can see the update. And then on top of that, the completion profile, which I love that. So for anybody who's like OCD or a completionist, like myself, where you just love completing things, you can filter to see, okay, how many profiles just don't have a lot of information. Like this is my best one, 60%. How can I improve this to make this better? So that is another great tool to improve your client, because then you can reach out, you can find out more information, you can get a bigger picture on you can get a picture. Sorry, I was just looking at the chat. We'll be able to add modify user-defined fields. Can you just clarify what you mean by that for the user-defined fields? Are you talking about the columns here? Just send a follow-up with Amber on that one. And then, yeah, so for these fields, just so you're aware, these are the columns. These aren't customizable. These are just set. So these ones aren't customizable, but there's other components that are. So we'll get to that. The other bit I'll touch on here, which is pretty cool, is you have the ability to see all of your communication in one column here. So we have an email tab. When you pull this up, it is going to show every email that you had back and forth with this person, the inbox and the send. Who did I send to? This, which is really great. So you don't have to go to your email and search for their specific email. It's already all there and sorted within your client. So you can go and see your communication. Another great one is you can quickly look at their activity to see what's going on. Obviously, this client doesn't have anything. And then you can look at their history. So this one doesn't have any here. I'm going to try and find one here. Oh, there you go. I created the record. So this one is a great history because it tells you all the changes that you've made to that, like that profile. So if you've made a mistake or something, or if you go in and something's not right, you can go in and see. What changed, what do you need to fix, and just also it's in conjunction with the last time you updated. You can look and see, okay, maybe maybe I hadn't updated them since last July, but I recently asked them about their marriage status and I can just confirm or whatever. It's just a good way to see that history of changes. Now for the client data right now with that question, for the updating, as of right now, see, you're asking questions I can't really talk about. So when it comes to the client data, as of right now, you are going to be managing your clients and maintaining them yourself. I can't really get into details, but there are some exciting things that are coming down the pipeline where there's going to be some more integration where you're going to have some more automation in that sense. So I can't get too particular about that, but there is some exciting things where it's not always going to have to be you updating, but I can't give any hard dates essentially, but it's really exciting and there is some stuff happening with that. So for right now, it is just you maintaining, but that is also a reason why you would choose the Experior CRM is because those benefits are coming. So opposed to if you chose another CRM, you would never have that kind of integration. You just wouldn't because they're not part of our company. So for us, that is our future goals and our long-term goals and what's our plans are is that we do have that kind of integration. So no, you're not losing birthday right now. You're not. As far as there's no limit on space. So if you have 1,000 clients, you have 1,000 clients. That's totally fine. There's no gaps or there's no caps. Sorry, there's no caps on your data. The only thing is, I believe, your Drive, your Google Drive, but that's not the client information here is not part of your Google Drive. This is part of your data that we store with our security features, which is another great component of having a CRM. Instead of it just floating in your email, we've got it here in a really great secured program for you. And that is beneficial. So I know we've been here 45 minutes, so I want to keep going. See, I can get carried away with the CRM, guys. I'm talking all day. All right, so what I want to do is the import feature. So when you are first getting on the CRM, you're like, how do I get all my clients on here? I know it can be a lot, and that's the hardest part of getting onto a CRM is really just starting. So what we have is we have a great template. It's called the client import template. We have one for the lead too, but it's just a basic Excel doc. And what I would recommend is to get things going. Of course, we have all these fields that you can add and you can include, but in my opinion, all really to get things going is get the list of your clients, add the first name, last name, and phone number. And that's all you need. So first name, last name, phone number. So I'm going to do Amber here. I won't do your actual phone number, don't worry. And then you do need to do a country code. So it's basically 1519 560-770, which is Experior's wealth number. So with all of your clients, I highly recommend just doing the bare minimum of getting their first name, last name, and their phone. And then you can go into the system and start really updating and getting their profile completed. So do it as best you can. I do copy and paste. I know when it comes to the template, not just a template will work, not just any Excel doc will work. You do have to use this one. So if you have another one that you have created, just copy and paste and do the best you can with the bare minimum, and you'll get your client information in. So what you would do is you would save this doc, you'd fill it out, then you would go to the import function and you would import your template. Fingers crossed. All right, then you would have added successfully, and they would get probably added to the bottom of your list or maybe the top. I had filtered, so we'll find her though. There she is. Okay, so automatically 34% here. This is the basis. This is the client profile. So now we are in. The other way to do this is, so that's for the doing the import function. Okay, full on importing a list, and your whole list would be added. Okay, and let me just look here. This is different than Burkett, yes, right now. But we're just gonna focus on this today. Yeah, I get all, there's things I can't get into, guys, but I would love to, but I can't, mum's the word. So, but anyways, so let's go to creating a client just on its own. So just a one-off. So say you got a phone call, you got a client, and you don't have a huge list. This is just a one-off. You would just go to the right here and you would click create. Okay, so you would pick the name. So we'll just say, sure, George Brown. And it goes the same. The bare minimum you need to essentially save this file is a first name, last name, and phone number. Enough just to contact them, right? Enough to contact them. So, so the import function does not get duplicated. That's a good question. I just want to add to, I'm just answering questions that are pertinent. For the import, if you do duplicate somebody, it's going to catch it. It's not going to import them. And what a lot actually happens sometimes, or will happen, is you'll get a report. So when you attempt to import something and it goes wrong, you're gonna have an error pop up saying, oh, there's been an issue, and then you're actually gonna get an automatic download. So don't worry when that happens, because what that download is it's trying to let you know what the issue is. So you'll get a download for an Excel doc that'll say, hey, there's some issues, and it'll give you the error code in the actual Excel doc. So when it comes to duplication, it'll let you know, or it definitely won't add it. So what'll happen is the list of people will be added successfully, and then whoever didn't get added, because they're a duplicate, they won't get added. So we do catch that. That is, if there's something off though, like it has, I believe it's based on first name, last name, and phone number maybe. But if there's something that's completely different, it's very possible it could eke through, depending on if there was like a one little small difference, but usually the system can catch it. Okay, and it can be done alphabetically. You can filter by first name, last name, and filter it to be alphabetically. Okay, so now that we're in the contact information, in the top here, we have what we call like the section bubbles. So you can either have them on or off. So if you're not interested in the lead component, you can take it off, or the contact information. It's just a way to kind of customize the content you want to see of your client, and you can add information. So you can add their marital status, if they're single, married, divorced. If they're married, you can attach the spouse from the other profile, so they are linked, which is really cool. And you can add them, and then the extra spouse component comes up. For the address, I highly recommend you add their physical address, because it populates on your map for you. We have a great section for do not solicit it by, which I think this is good, because maybe there are some clients where they just don't want you to call them ever. They just want you to only text or email. That's a great spot where you can put those little notes in, where you can add that little special things that they prefer when it comes to communication. As you scroll down, you can add additional emails like work, phone. This is their main ones. And then these are the extra contact with their address. Every entry is assigned with a unique number. It is. So if you like that, you can add it. That's the ID. If you don't like it, you can take it off. I'm not an ID person, I go by name, but if you prefer to do ID, you could. As we go down here, we can scroll to the lead section. Okay, so this is where I'm allowed to touch on something that's exciting. So with the lead section here, this area really pertains to how they came to you as a lead. So how they first came off. So the company rep here it's a good example to use that when, like if you're selling health benefits for an organization, this is the contact person, lead source. So if I inputted this lead, it's obviously come from me. Their specific notes, their estimated annual income, if they're interested in working with Experior, whether they've been, the coverage amount that they're looking for, all that stuff. So this is really, this section really does happen when your client is a lead initially, but it stays with you so you know where they came from and the foundation of where they're at. Because then you can see where they started and where you're at now, with their insurance products down here and anything that they have additionally. Now, the really exciting thing and why we have some of these questions is because with Experior, we're always trying to integrate. So we are currently in the testing phase for those who have an Experior financial website through us. So if I have built you a website, now if you have the Experior CRM, anyone who completes any forms on your website or is basically a lead that you're getting through your website will automatically populate as a lead for you in your CRM. So if you come to me and we can basically hook up your site so that leads that come in can automatically populate into your website, which is really cool and exciting. It's in the testing phase, hasn't quite released yet, but it should be soon. But that's also why some of these questions are here though, is because when they're a lead, they populate here. So that's really exciting stuff that's happening with the website. So that's if you have an Experior website, you can have your leads popped into here, which is really cool, and that's coming soon. Then we've got comments, which really is your notes section. So when you're talking about notes, and I only have like 10 minutes left, so I'm going to try not to go too over because I know there's a lot. And guys, we're only at clients, so you can understand why. This is a 4-week webinar series. But when it comes to comments, these are your notes section as to general notes. And when I say general notes, it's like you can say mother died recently or something like where those one-off things where you're just adding new update to the client and it'll stay there, it'll live there. These are your updated notes that you can see for the note taking. And I'm going to get into how, mind you, this is my personal opinion, but how we envision you operating when it comes to notes. So these are the general notes. We do have a section for files. So with your Drive, you can have your filing system for your clients. So any files that are added for your specific client will live here, and the same goes for down here. We have like a bucket list section, so people who have goals and dreams and things like that. Okay, then we've got the activities. So I'm going to touch on the notes section because I want to show you what we're talking about. So you can make the notes here. However, when you're going to have a meeting or a call with the client, I strongly suggest, even if it's a call, you book it at the time that you're calling them. And here's why. So you would create the event and you can schedule it. Now, what's really cool is, depending on the client, you can pick who it is and you can inform the user of this event. So if you are booking a call for a couple of days out and you want to give them, you've already talked about it, but you want to send them, the note saying, hey, or I'm going to call you on Zoom and you can add the Zoom link here. It's going to send them an email, like an invite saying, hey, this is where we're going to have our call. We're good. But if you're just doing a one-off call, I still recommend you saying, even if you're creating this event after the fact, I recommend you make the event. And here's why, because you can add notes pertaining to this event. So when you create the event and you save it, and it's going to inform them, but it's not really going to, you can then go in and add notes. So you're calling the person, you're on your CRM, you start taking notes based on the comment panel here. So these are notes about the event. The comment panel is you're really note taking. You can start taking notes. So test. You can add notes. The reason why I suggest this is because now you have notes that are associated with this specific event. You can go and recall and see this conversation happened. These are my notes based on this conversation. This is our plan and this is what's happening. That way, I'm just gonna, I'll save it. That way, it'll always, all of your calls, actually all of your activities in general will be here, and you can specify between calls and actual physical meetings, which you can consider Zoom meetings. But they're all going to be here where you can see the notes that have been created. And what happens is here, I find, is the notes are great here, but it can get really messy really fast. In my opinion, this is a way that you can really break down and keep things organized based on the events that are happening. And I know this is kind of hard because you're having a lot of people, it's like, oh man, you're not this organized. Shifting to organization where you're this structured, where you're creating an event when things are, you're calling somebody, you're having a meeting. But this is a great way to stay organized and keep all of your notes here. So when you're in a client and you're booking a call or you're booking a meeting, actually book it in your calendar at the time that you're doing it, so you can create notes that are attached to the date, time, and it's easy to recall what happened on that date. It's just a better way to stay organized. Of course, you can always use the comment section or the notes section on their file here, but it can get really messy really fast, and you're going to be able to filter and find a lot easier when you do it this way and keep organized. So that's what the notes section. The other thing I want to touch on is the sharing ability, which is really cool. So like I said, we talked about how you can share with a colleague in the very beginning. You can do this for a client. So if you're a new advisor and you've got a client and you're wanting to, you need some help and you want to share the information, say, hey, like, what do you think I should recommend? Here's their profile. You can you can add an email. They have to have the CRM, but you can find this. So this is like my personal. You can say, okay, I'm going to share, and then you can set their access level. So you can set it to, okay, you can see it, but you can only read only, or you can edit, or you can revoke the access with deny always. So I can change it. I can read only. You click share, and then the test user is sending me this, and it'll be sent out. So it's just a good way to share with your colleagues that you can have, the information. All right, so what else is here? I want to make sure. The other thing I want to touch on, I know we're running out of time, so we will do it next week. But when you go to, oh no, here we'll save. When you go to add a new contact, we do have a really cool feature where you can add them via QR code, because I know QR code's kind of the cool new thing. Business card, so business card scanner. So if you have a business card, you can. Or the VCF file, which is just the virtual client file from your phone, right? So you have a couple options for a faster import when it comes to a new client. Now there was a question about don't we get a website with monthly fee? Okay, so just to clarify with the website, this is not the CRM, but it is an advisor website that's customized for you only. So yes, of course, you have your back office, which is what you get. But this is a separate one where we create a website that's all about you, that we can customize to you. That's still based on the Experior template. And then you can see, you can get leads from it and share it. It's basically another social media tool that we can provide if you want to. So we would provide the support and the hosting, or you can go and build one on your own. But when you do that on your own, we can't do the same integration just because of the constraints we would have. So if you cancel your CRM, what happens to your Experior email? So yes, if you cancel your CRM, there is like a 3-month grace period, but the email will have to be canceled as well. I do believe you can continue on if you just contact broker support, and you can set up, there's a way to keep your email for just a fee each month. So it's not like it would just disappear, you have no choice. You just need to contact broker support to set up the alternate way to keep that going. So that's just another way. However, I think the CRM is great, but I'm biased. But this is just so far, we're just touching on the clients and the dashboard. We haven't even really gotten to the lead and the pipeline and the calendar. So there's a lot more that we can see that's coming. Let's see another CRM test. I'm trying to find an example of maybe one that has some more information here. So the activities here, there's a lot here. You can see the history, you can see my calls, any meetings that I've had with this client. Yeah, basically that is, if I go, let me look at my PowerPoint here so I can see that we've touched everything for week 1. Yeah, we went over what it is, how to sign up, the high-level overview of the dashboard and the clients. Yeah, so that's pretty much what we're going to go over today. Basically, if you guys have any questions, you can obviously submit them here. I don't mind hanging around a little bit. We're going to get to the contact lists. That's week 4. If you have a deleted widget, when you go to the dashboard here, you can easily find it. You just go to the settings and then you go plus, and the data should be saved. It'll still be there. It's always accessible. If the advisor quits the Experior, their access to the CRM would be revoked because it is an Experior. They would be, even their fee would be canceled. Everything would be canceled, right? So if they are quitting, you would have to, get your information before you do so, because it would be immediately revoked, just like you would. And then if you can review this recording, we will put it on the back office, probably under broker support. But what we'll do is maybe Amber will create a slider so you guys can see it on one of the sliders. But there's so much more. So if you guys have time, come back again next Friday, review it. We're going to go into the lead list, which is similar. The lead cards, here's kind of a quick overview of some exciting things. The calendar, we have a lot more to go over. So this is just the initial overview. If you guys have questions, send them our way, and then we'll do our best to answer them. All right. So that's everything. We'll hang out a bit for a little bit to answer some questions, and then yeah, and then I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Alrighty, thanks everyone.
Thank you, Blair.
Thanks.
Thank you, Blair.
Thank you, Blair.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was awesome. Thanks.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thanks, Blair.
Thank you.
Next week.
Blair,
Yeah.
hey, it's Laval here. I might as well
Hi.
ask, because there's some people that might have the US and Canadian. So in my case where I had emailed you, so I paid for the voluntary Canadian, and now that I have the US, it's
Yeah,
mandatory.
I'm gonna handle you right after this.
Yeah. So, but a question that maybe someone might know, if can I go on to the Canadian and say cancel CRM, or should I not do that? Should I wait for you to tell me? what to do?
Wait for you. Yeah, wait for me. Okay.
Okay.
That way. Yeah, just wait. For me.
Okay. Thanks, Blair. Because I did have some people reach out to ask what I.
Are we gonna have a Q&A or are we done?
I can hang out for like another 10 minutes. So if you guys have a question, that's fine. From what we talked about today, as best we can.
Hey Blair, it's Anthony.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Lots of information. I had a question. You were saying that there's a G Suite app